Hey, we're Snake River Red, and this is another great show of ETX ROCKS featuring the Lawless.
From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks, ETX rocks.
Hey guys, Boston Chris here, and you are tuned into the #1 resource for independent music in Northeast Texas. And this is the ETX ROCKS Show, episode number 282. And we have a huge treat for you guys. All the way from New Braunfels, we have the guys from the Lawless. Guys, introduce yourselves and tell the folks out there what you play in the band.
My name is Kyle Villarreal. I'm originally from Huntsville, Texas. I'm the lead guitar player for the Lawless.
My name is Taylor Long. I'm from Winnie, Texas. I am the lead singer, frontman, and songwriter for the Lawless.
My name is Josh Reedus, and I play.
We just had this talk coming up here, dude. I swear to God we did.
My name is Josh Reedus, and I play bass for the Lawless. I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
My name is Travis Kilmer. I'm from Canyon Lake, Texas, and I play the drums.
What's your name?
Travis Kilmer.
All right, Travis. All right.
Come on, man.
All right, so again, it's the Lawless. First time on the ETX ROCKS Show. Super stoked to have you guys here. And I know 3 of y'all are going to play. If you're tuned into the show for the first time, we always have these guys play a few songs first. And we talk about the songs as part of the episode. So literally when we're interviewing them, we've already heard the music. So the first song is called Chambers. And
Yes,
so
sir.
tell us a little bit about the story behind this song.
Chambers, man, it's the most lighthearted song I've ever written in my life. And it took me months to write because it was so naturally happy. And not sad.
It's a happy
not
song.
sad, not dark and messed up. Just a happy song about home, man. That's it. And it took forever to write it. It took forever. But it's just like your traditional classic rock, upbeat, key of A, and just jamming song is what it is. And it's about coming home, man. It's about your friends. I mentioned, I talk about some of my friends, some of my family. I talk about Chambers County a little bit. I talk about some of the just bullcrap that we get into over there. It's the only song I've ever written that has some subliminal nonsense in it. I said, in one of the verses, I said, somebody called Pork Chop and Wilbur and the boys, and we're getting drunk at Rice Fest. And the reason I say somebody called Pork Chop is because I was working cows with for the Edwards Ranch down there around Christmas about 2 years ago. And Charlie Edwards, who's he's a little bit younger than me. His dad has one of the oldest and biggest ranches in Chambers County, Texas, which is down by Beaumont, Port Arthur. And down there towards inland of Galveston, Bolivar Peninsula. And we were working cows, man, and we went to go eat lunch at a place called Lurcy's. And it was on a Wednesday, and he choked on a pork chop. And when I say he choked on a pork chop, I mean it almost killed him. And so we had to actually take him. He spent an hour.
That's an obvious nickname.
Yeah, I gave it to him, and no one else calls him that but me. And his sister sometimes, maybe. But
it's either pork chop or shaken bacon.
But he wouldn't. It was a pork chop or shaken bacon. But he was so stubborn that he wanted to eat so bad because he was a little. He's a tiny, skinny guy, but he's just got bottomless pit syndrome. So he went in the bathroom and just was trying to throw up a pork chop for an hour because he was that determined to finish that damn pork chop. And we ended up taking him we took him to the hospital in Winnie, and the lady there, the nurse, he was choking, and she goes, "What's wrong with him?" And I was like, "He's choking." She goes, "What's he choking on?" I was like, "Well, it shouldn't matter. We're in a hospital and he's choking. You should get him in a room." But he's choking on a pork chop though, and she goes, Did y'all go to Lurcy's? No, it's Pork Chop Wednesday. So, anyway, man.
Small town story.
Yeah, so I threw that in the song just to be a dick. But
Very cool. This is The Lawless with a song called Chambers, live and unplugged right here in the ETX Rocks living room. Y'all check it out.
Somebody call Pork Chop, we're in a board. Getting drunk and rice fishing, yeah. I don't care if you gotta crawl back on my day. Take me back to Chambers, please. I wanna see Wayne Toots and Gino Delafose. I wanna hear them slow rolling lows. I don't wanna waste no more time. It's being on way too fake. Figure it out, please. Take me back to Chambers, please. Snow coming in and I wanna go home like a fish. I don't wanna go to San Antonio. Desire to catch a wild cow deep in the brush. Going southeast, going in the rush. And a hurricane at the bell to keep me gone. Is there anybody out there like me homesick too? Down 30 miles east of San Antonio with the Chambers County Blues. I can tell you right now, ain't a one damn thing gonna put my soul at ease. Take me back to Chambers, I said. Take me back to Chambers. One more, take me back to Chambers, please.
All right, so we are back once again. It's the Lawless, first time on the show, and I definitely want to talk about the songwriting and the harmonies. The harmonies are super impressive. What inspires you guys to have those harmonies in the band? Because I think it really kind of identifies who you guys are.
Yeah, we play a lot of our songs. We work on them and have, like, I came up playing a lot of blues music and stuff, so vocals are,
I can see that in your guitar playing for sure. Yeah,
I play a lot of blues stuff, and I actually just the first time I met this guy, he was playing with a different band. I was too, and he had someone in his band named Steven. What's the last name again?
Oxner. Steve Oxner.
I don't know why I always forget that.
The King of Harmonies.
The King of Harmonies. That's all you need to know. And he was singing harmony, and I asked him. It was just a couple of years ago, and I asked him, like, how did you get so good at singing harmonies? And he was like, I just sing along to the radio. And so I took note and started doing that, and then I'm still pretty green at it. I'm still working at it, but yeah.
Man, it's really, really good. Is this something you guys all dig as a collective unit, or?
For the most part, it is. And Steve, by the way, ironically enough, Steve was a co-write on Rose City Moonshine with me when I brought that song to him, which it was a novel at the time. One of the other ones that we did tonight.
It was a book.
It was a book because Steve was a co-write. He writes a lot of stuff with me, actually. He's an older man, great songwriter, great teacher, great harmony master. He's like a harmony wizard. Taught this guy how to sing like those incredible harmonies.
And I think y'all's voices mesh perfectly too.
They can. It depends on the night, you know. It depends on how many shows in a row we've played. Because I start getting
whether
scratchy.
you're comped at the bar, right?
Yeah, whether we're comped at the bar, yeah. Yeah, my voice gets scratchy and nasty sometimes, and his stays buttery and pretty. It just doesn't get
It
damaged.
gets pushed sometimes, man. Try to dial it back, but
So if you're tuned in and you're from the state of Texas, you might actually hear that it's raining in Texas. Thank God.
It's been a while. It's been a good while.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw my backyard, but my burn pile is my backyard right now. So
You can't even light it up.
My God, rain.
Yeah.
Need to get rid of some of this trash.
It's been raining for 3 days in New Braunfels now.
Oh, send some of it here.
Man, and I left it was raining, and it's still going. And I was
Now, we're in
like,
the piney woods, and I think the pine trees are fixing to migrate somewhere else.
oh my God, they're gonna
Yeah,
walk off.
they're done.
Sprout legs.
So you mentioned in the open when you introduced yourself that you're the chief songwriter with the group.
Yeah, well, I don't know why he left out the fact that he's a songwriter. What we kind of do is, when we started this group, I had written, I just had a lot of content sitting there. And some of it was co-writes or not necessarily entirely co-writes, but when I was with my previous band, which was a band called Smoke Wagon out of San Antonio, I wrote with Steve Oxner and without. We had a few songs that we had written individually, and then we had a few co-writes, and we put them all together and made their album. And with the Lawless, I had a couple of those songs that we might use from those records, and we had a handful of other stuff, and so we just kind of pulled a bunch of songs together. And then Kyle had already written and been writing, and he was with another band. He was with Garrett Simon at the time. He was co-writing and doing other things and playing lead guitar. And,
So you guys were all basically in other projects.
yeah, we had been on the road together, and we had lots of other bands that we played with that were friends with us, and we spent a lot of time on the road together, and we built relationships. And just for me, it was getting out of that particular band and starting my own deal. For him, it was just he was a writer, and he was playing lead guitar, and they just weren't busy at the time, and we just started playing around, and it meshed it real good.
And that's important as a musician, is to be busy.
Yeah,
For
you got to
sure.
be busy, and that's a little bit of it. But there's other things too. Like we meshed real good. Like originally I hired him to just come fill in for a couple shows.
So the band does have a rhythm section as well. We're 9 minutes in, and I think both of them are like trying to get away without saying anything. So how did you guys meet the two guys over here?
I met Taylor how long ago? We were 18.
Yeah,
And we're 20. I'm 24 now. So we just been jamming for a long time. It was just me and him, and then even some of the songs. Chambers was around back then.
kind of, yeah. We had started a couple of those
Yeah,
older songs
we just
way
jammed
back
for
then.
a long time. I knew this guy from middle school, 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, and he always played guitar. And then I think one day I just went over to his house and asked him if he could play bass.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
You start with the
Yeah.
guitar, and then you just like.
If you told him yes, that's not what you told me.
What?
You told me when I met you, you were like, I mean, I don't, but I can.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
And he
I
was
knew
the
he played
bass player
guitar. I
after
was like,
that.
but can you play bass? I was like, do you know anything? He's like, I know like 5 scales. And I was like, okay, just come jam with us.
5 scales, you sound like a bass wizard. Come on.
I was like, whatever that
Yeah.
means, come try out. Or not try out, come play with us.
No.
Come try out is to translate that means you're in the band.
Yeah, that's exactly what that meant. We pretty much just went on the road, and no one ever thought about like what he was playing. It was just like, yeah, sounds good. Let's go.
So I mean, there is a lot of chemistry here. These two guys have known each other since middle school.
Yeah, they
So
know each
why
other.
did it take so long for you guys to come together as one?
It's
Just
really
like beat up.
it's terrible that you say that because me and him were trying to start a band when I joined Smoke Wagon, and we just couldn't get anyone to throw in with us. Nobody wanted to.
Like consistent.
No one wanted to get in a band and put the work in and put the effort in and go on the road and play. And I got basically an offer to join as a lead guitar player for another band. And so I basically was like, okay, drummer boy, I'm gonna go join a band, and if it takes me somewhere, it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and it did. You know, it kind of taught me a lot as an artist, and I wrote a really cool record with those guys, and they're about to release it. It's gonna be cool, but in that time, I kind of realized, you know, I wanted to do my own thing, and he was with a couple other bands too, playing percussion and drums and different things, and I called him and was like, hey, let's do this. Like, I think we've learned, like, you know, us being in bands, like, I think we've kind of learned what we're doing, and we've kind of grown as artists, and now we can kind of do our own thing and not be clueless about it.
Yeah.
And it will work. You know, it wouldn't have worked. If we'd have done it when we were trying to, if we'd have actually got out there on the road, we'd have just nosedived.
Yeah, and I think that the three of the most important things in the chemistry of a band, number one is chemistry.
Yeah.
Number two is work ethic. Number three is consistency.
Consistency,
And if you don't have
experience.
those three things as a collective unit, it's never going to work.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can have three guys that are all bought in on all three of those, and if the fourth guy isn't two, forget it.
Absolutely.
And it's like a married couple that's been married 20 years, they need counseling. If they're not both down to do the counseling,
Doesn't work.
goodbye,
No
it's
point.
time for a divorce.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of meshed with all of us. And then with the three of us, like, we had been playing, so he was, we were in my little shack in Canyon Lake, and just out, and we had a drum set and a guitar amp and no PA, no microphone, nothing. So I'd play acoustic, I'd play him my songs that I'd written, and he'd kind of remember the songs, and then I'd just play the chords on the electric guitar, and he'd just play the drums, and I wouldn't even sing, wouldn't even try.
Yeah.
It's just too loud in there. And we'd do all of my original songs by memory. And we had like 20-something songs that we'd play every night and get them down tight. And then we brought in a PA, and I could sing, and we brought in him. For
The buttery voice.
just to get it. Well, he wasn't even singing harmonies at the time. He was just playing lead.
How'd you find that out?
The buttery voice?
Yeah.
Well, he already sang. You know, I knew it was I played some shows with him, acoustic, and with the other band he was in, he sang harmonies, so I knew he could sing. I knew he was incredible. And I knew he wrote songs, too. But I originally, you know, I only called him because I needed someone to fill in, and I wasn't trying to step on, you know, my buddy Garrett Simon's toes. He was playing lead guitar for Garrett Simon. And I told him, I don't want to steal you away from your band, dude. I want you to come hang out. And they just got not busy, and so he kind of made a transition, and it just kind of stuck, you know.
Yeah. And I know you guys are playing all over the state. I mean, all over the state.
Yes, sir.
No BS. So, you know, that work ethic is part of that, the consistency of being willing to just get on the road, go play somewhere. You guys are all really young guys, so I feel there has to be a strategy involved there in just getting outside of New Braunfels and playing outside your box. Is there a strategy involved? And if so, what is it?
Well, do you have a first note you want
I'll
to give to it?
A pretty quick note would be the strategy is to take whatever you can get that's not too close. Because if you condense it and play in the same area over and over and over, it's kind of hard to blossom from there.
Yeah.
And reach out to other people. But if you start playing here, start playing there, way up there, way down here, you know, and we're all from different areas of Texas anyway, so we can kind of branch out and get to more people.
Yeah,
that
that
way.
definitely helps when you
Yeah.
can just kind of call in some favors from your neighborhood or whatever. But I think the most important thing in the 21st century when it comes to music is playing in front of people who don't know who you are.
That's
It's
the best.
so
that honestly
important.
is the truth. There is no other way around it. When we first started playing, we decided we were not going to play. We had been in bands that we had to go up there on stage and play 3 hours a night, and we had to play everyone else's music, the stuff that everyone wanted to hear, and then you try to sneak in as many of your songs as you can. And I did not want to do that. And
Yeah.
and the biggest struggle when I was trying to create my own project or get people to come create a project with me was finding people that weren't scared to do that.
Yeah.
Because everyone told us all, they were like, you're wrong, you can't do that. And the truth is, yes, you can.
Yep.
You know, every decision we made
If
is
the music
right.
is good, number one, the fans are going to gravitate towards originality
Yes.
more than they will cover material.
Absolutely.
If they're true fans of music, okay?
Sure.
Because personally, I consider myself a true fan of music. I don't want to go to a bar and listen to cover music all night. Why? Because I have to pay to get in, first of all, right? I have to pay a cover charge. I have to pay to drink there. Sometimes you got to pay for parking if you're, you know,
Right.
in the city or something like that. Why would I do that when I could just stay home, click on my YouTube playlist, and I can hear the original songs by that artist?
Right.
You know, I don't want to hear, you know, some local band doing a Hank Williams Jr. song. I'll just stay home and listen to Hank Jr.
Right, I've got a record player
You know?
somewhere, yeah.
When I go out and pay the $5 cover charge and pay the bar and the parking, I want to hear new songs. I want to hear original songs. That's how I feel a true music fan is going to gravitate towards a band. The problem is there's a lot of venues out there that think the crowds want to hear cover music.
Right.
So it's got to be a huge struggle for a band that's trying to be original.
Well, that, and also I think the content you put out that's yours is another thing. If everything that you're writing and creating sounds like something that is easily available, like if you sound like 10 other artists that are out there right now, you then become less valuable because you're listening to the same band with a different singer.
And that's the value in the harmonies.
And so
Big
harmonies
time.
and content, the way you play, dynamics, there's a lot of things to it. Like
the different layers
the
and
biggest,
composition.
the number one aspect on all formats of this of the entire industry and all music, it doesn't matter what type of music you play, is be your own artist. Because the only thing I learned was when we were writing originals, when I was writing originals, it didn't sound like consistent with things that were going on around me or us. And so it was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to work or not.
Mm-hmm.
But being that, you know, being a little bit different and standing out means you stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're standing out, you know, there are people that won't like it, but there's a lot of people that will like it. But you're so individual that they'll notice it.
Yep.
And then they can make that choice.
And so is that where the name The Lawless comes from?
The name The Lawless directly comes from that. It is
Yep.
a musical term. It is not because we're a bunch of criminal heathens.
Right.
Although, like, I will say that occasionally when we drink a lot of whiskey, there have been a few incidences where...
What he's saying is that they're not heathens, but they do have a treasure box for bail money that says bail.
Definitely have that. We definitely do. But yeah, it's a musical term because, you know, we write we're influenced in a lot of different directions. We write a lot of different types of music. None of the stuff we write is necessarily traditional to the thing that we wrote before it.
Mm.
And that's not just as a band, that's as individual artists too. Like, you know, this guy over here will write some straight up old school Merle sounding country, just, you know, chicken picking. And then he'll bring up some blues, some, you know,
Muddy
some Stevie
Waters,
Ray,
something like that, yeah.
some nasty, dirty, you know, just crunchy blues. Or some rock, you know, we just write whatever comes to mind. And then you have to figure out, when you take it to the band, how are we going to do this all together? And that's what the Lawless means. Like, we don't have any real musical boundary. We don't have any real mold we want to fit. We just take what we like that we've created and then bring it together.
That's
and
cool.
do it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's real, like, you know, someone's like, hey, that sounds like something Randy Rogers wrote, which we barely ever hear.
Mm.
But most of the time it's like, that's some Skynyrd stuff or some rock and roll, you know. So like, it's like we'll do whatever.
And it's different every song.
Whatever we come up with is what we come up with. And I think that as an artist, having that freedom and not being contained to one little area, it helps you grow and it helps you gain notification.
Yeah, I agree.
And you shouldn't be scared.
Do you guys struggle with fitting into any particular format though?
Nope.
We don't try to really fit into any particular format. So
We definitely don't try to fit in it. Yeah, we don't
It goes
try.
back to The Lawless.
But because we play like so many different types of music in one show, and I mean, you know, the record we just recorded that's upcoming is it even on that one record. There's so many different types of music in there that we can play with like any band, and something fits in.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing that's not just us. It's also the entire Texas music. Now, I don't want to say Texas country. I mean Texas music is its own business because there's so many different bands. Rock bands and country bands play together all the time, and they fit in. And mainly is because they're all following that same, you know, Lawless format, which is just play whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
And don't worry
It's called
about
Texas Freedom, man.
it. It is that Texas freedom. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And independent music, which is why we are huge fans of the independent artists. I think I said at the beginning of the show that we're the #1 resource for independent music in Northeast Texas. Independent music is where it's at in the state of Texas, and to me, the word independent just means creative freedom for the artist. You're not binded to a contract or to a certain sound or
In no way.
yeah. So it's really cool. I think it's neat for songwriters to just be able to write down how they're feeling, what their experiences are, and then trying to be relevant to other people with a connectability issue. And I mean, what I love about you, I've heard 3 songs tonight or today. It's not tonight yet, but 3 songs today. All 3 songs were full of content. They were all relevant to an audience, and they were all stories. And you don't hear stories in mainstream music anymore today.
It's hard to sell stories in commercial music.
Yeah, no doubt.
The
That's
lighter
the struggle,
the
man.
lighter the content, the better it sells, man. The
Yeah.
more ambiguous the words are, it doesn't need to relate to anybody.
Well, I mean, you gotta
necessarily.
sing about bodies being like back roads and dirt on your boots.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, man.
Yeah, country.
Yeah, man. And that, it's funny though. People make that that country reference, and it's funny because I think we're all just a bunch of rednecks. But the funniest thing is like, I've heard someone call my music country before, and his sometimes, and it's just like, I don't know if it is country. Sometimes it is,
Yeah.
but sometimes it ain't.
Sometimes it can.
Some-
Well,
Sometimes
I
it's
hear
rock,
a song
rock.
like "Body Like a Back Road," and I'm thinking to myself, this guy has never driven down the back roads of Texas.
I'm not
because-
familiar with the song.
Really?
But I do know a lot of commercial.
Well,
country
apparently
music.
his girlfriend has a body like a back road, and that's supposed to be a good thing. But every back road I've ever been down in Texas is bumpy and full of potholes.
It's probably a rough-looking woman. He's proud of her, and he should be. You got to be proud of your woman, but I mean, you could find a better way to describe it.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one, but I've heard some real nonsense on commercial radio, man, and that's what I love about the independent game is you can just write whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll record.
So you guys have a record coming out.
Yeah.
Yellow
absolutely.
Dog Studios.
Yes,
Dave
Yellow Dog.
Percival.
He's the master, man, Dave. And I see you wear the Brandon Jenkins shirts, and you should with pride because that guy he was a wizard of songwriting. But Dave had been with Brandon for a long time.
Yeah.
Partners in crime and studio buddies.
Well, I saw that you were working with Dave and Yellow Dog, and I was super excited.
That was a
because-
hell of an experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. When's the record going to be out?
Well, we haven't really officially decided on a date, just for a few little monetary reasons. Just kind of working on some business deals, that we may or may not kind of dive into. If we do, we'll probably push the date to. It'll be somewhere around first of the year, regardless, for the full record. It's just we might go in and record a few more, and we might not.
Are you going to push some singles to radio?
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely we're looking at releasing one single within the next month. Well, I don't really know for a fact which one we're gonna use yet, just because the record's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty it's diverse. So like trying to pick the right one it's a struggle, man.
Well, when you guys are ready to release it, send me a copy. I'd love to review it for
We
you.
definitely will. Absolutely. And the funnest part about it is that some of the songs on the record are kind of, they're somewhere in that Robert Earl Keen meets like Skinner, Ragweed, like narrative songwriting with rock.
Oh, the harmonies from the Eagles.
And the harmonies from the Eagles. And then some of it is just rock. Like it's just aggressive, good lyrics, but just the playing is gnarly. And so we're looking at the record going, should we release a single that's heavy rock or like, more tamed a little bit on a leash, and we're like, I don't know. We don't know what we need to do. But we'll release a single within the next
That
month.
sounds like a really good problem to have.
It is, I think. It's
Yeah.
unique, I guess. Diversity in the record isn't a problem, man. I like it. But yeah, somewhere around the first of the year, we'll release the full record, and we're looking forward to that. It's called Lost Out There. The record's going to be called Lost Out There. That's the title track. It's one of the songs on the record.
Mhm.
It's like 9 minutes long. It's like a journey through space
You can get lost.
How long is your solo?
and swamps.
It's long.
Pretty much the whole song is
Yeah, pretty much the
going.
whole. Yeah,
is
just-
intermittent
It's
guitar
a
solos.
9-minute song with a 12-minute solo.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
If you want to add all the solos in that song up,
Yeah.
it's the whole song.
It's probably 5 minutes of solo. Yeah,
So-
it's cool.
So we have the Lawless here again. It's episode 282. And we're going to be right back after this message from an independent artist. Y'all check it out.
Hey guys, this is Blaine Howard, and thanks for tuning in to ETX Rocks.
All right, so we're back once again. It's episode 282 of the ETX ROCKS Show. Super excited to have the Lawless here for the first time. I think these guys are going to explode on the scene in 2019. Is that the next year? My God, we are getting old. It's 2019 coming up.
Man.
Good Lord.
As if we've been a band for 8 months and you're feeling old. I don't know what to do, man.
Oh, man, you guys have been a band for 8 months, but you've known each other all your lives, it seems.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just got started late.
That's it, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. The rhythm section was ready to go since 7th grade.
They've been ready to go. They've been doing it, yeah.
You guys just came into the picture too late.
We just walked in too late.
We're too busy writing the songs, man.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, they were over here just what did you call it? Just jamming.
We were
They're writing the songs, making women cry and stuff.
That's what they did, man. They were beating on drums and trash cans and playing bass and guitar. And you play didgeridoo too, don't you? You play.
Didgeridoo.
I think he plays recorder also.
Man, if you put a didgeridoo solo on that record,
right,
ooh.
An army of didgeridoos. 10,000 didgeridoos.
I bet you'd be top 20 in Melbourne.
I would do it. I played didgeridoo in middle school one time,
Get ready for the Australian tour.
like a whole week long.
Get ready for the Australian
Australian
tour.
tour.
Oh, you should have brought it today, man.
Aboriginal Southern.
We have a big living room. It'll go all the way out to the couch.
Yeah.
I don't know how big your didgeridoo is.
I'm not that big.
That sounds like a hashtag.
Don't ever hashtag not that big.
How big is your didgeridoo?
Oh god, man.
That sound you hear is everybody Googling the word didgeridoo.
Yeah,
Just
what
so
is
you
that?
know.
I need to know. What are we talking about?
I did not know we were going to be talking about didgeridoos today.
You never know, dude. But it's gonna.
We do
come
have
out.
quite a followership in Australia, though, so here's looking at y'all.
Right
Thanks
on,
for
man.
tuning in. We'll probably have comments down below. Hey, I play didgeridoo. Do they need a player?
Man, Australia is cool because I put out an acoustic album a while back with my buddy Steve Oxner from Smoke Wagon. We recorded some of the songs that we had written. Some of them are going on this record with us. We recorded them acoustic, and we released this record. We didn't release it to the public, as in I never even went on Facebook and said, "Hey, check it out. There's a record." Nothing. I didn't even tell my brother. I just literally released it to CD Baby.
I bet your pork chop.
And that's it. And actually, CD Text. I released it to CD Text, and I told no one. And I got an email from somewhere in Australia that was like, "Hey, we're panning this out. We're playing it, and we want to do an online interview."
Wow.
And over the phone, and I was like, "How did you find this?" Like, I didn't even tell my neighbors that I released this. I told no one.
Man,
They were playing it.
Isn't that cool though? To
It's
know
under
that?
the name of Powder Keg Prophets, and they were jamming it over there in Australia, and one in Switzerland. And I was like, "How'd y'all find that?" Like,
I think it's incredible, man. Like, I'll look at our analytics on YouTube, and I mean, we're getting views in Nigeria and Mozambique,
It's crazy, right?
And it's like, how?
and we'll promote it. We'll promote it once the Lawless releases our record. Like, I'll promote that little.
You mean you're actually going to tell your brother this time?
I'll tell him. Yeah, I will release it. Because it's a good record, man. It sounds great. I didn't want to give the songs away before they were given away in their full band format.
Right.
So I just wanted to keep it a secret. But and we'll
not
release
in
it.
Australia. It's not a secret.
But it's
down
not
there.
a secret over there,
No.
man. They're jamming
No,
it.
they are.
They love their ambient southern rock. They love their independent
Swamp rock.
Texas artists. Their swamp rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
they love it.
Yep.
They do like that. Yeah. So that's good.
So we are going to get these guys to play another song for y'all, and I really, really dig this song. It's called Rose City Moonshine. So tell us the story behind this one.
I don't know if I can. So Rose City Moonshine was based off of a different story, just about some of my
He's trying not to incriminate anybody.
some of my kinfolk. Yeah, from
This might be the first time in the history of the
from,
show someone pleads the
from
fifth.
from the Southeast Texas area, and doing some lawless stuff, man. And there was no murder like in the song. That's just the Robert Earl Keen effect. You add the story, add a little bit to the story to make it juicy. But yeah, they were doing some stuff they shouldn't have been doing. They were doing some lawless stuff, and the police weren't happy with it. So
And for you folks in Royce City, It's actually Rose City.
Wrong town.
Moonshine.
All right, I've had that happen a few times in Roy City. They're like, "We love, yeah." We're like, "I'm glad you like it, but we're talking about a different place."
And I don't think they're talking about Tyler either. So, y'all.
Yeah, actually, Rose City, Texas. It's a place. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
near Vidor, Texas. Rose City, Texas.
Very cool. And so it's for the first time here on the ETX Rock Show. It's the Lawless with Rose City Moonshine. Y'all check it out.
Brothers out in prison, dad's down the hill. He said, "We'll be thick and water. This water just don't sell." We live back in the woods, deep within the pines, putting food on the table, cooking rolls, sitting moonshine. Brother Casey Laney had to stand 6'3". When he come back from war, he was a walking death machine. Every day as me is dead, only half the size round him here with cold. There's blackness in his eyes. Daddy come inside and we were cooking in the barn. He kicked the door and spit, cussing boys, don't know where to start. Cousin Danny Wayne driving spikes along the rail, struck a gang boss in the head one time, just escaped from jail. He's hiding in the woods, deep within the pines, rubbering, looking out roads, sitting moonshine. Fire's always burning, the light's always on. Can't see it for the darkness. Your city stained in blood. Liquor made an honest man. He became new wrong. Whiskey made my family kill on up their own. He's back against the wall, casing in Bronx chairs. There's sitting no cooking down my town. Think that'd be best. And he was a stubborn kid in town and know to stop. Wrap a chain around his ankle, drop him in the swamp. Could be thick and water, no tombstone, ain't no ground. Body sank to the bottom. Where they stop, there ain't no sound. Told you all I cared. Swear to God it's true. Ain't seen Case, ain't seen Daddy since 1932. He never left Rose City. Never been shut down. Hot fire, cooking whiskey. You'll never put it out.
So we are back once again. It's episode 282 featuring the Lawless. All four of them here. The bassist doesn't want to talk today. That's okay. We did get him to talk about formally playing guitar.
You also got to say his name 4 times.
Well, it was 3 times, to be fair. And I made the drummer say it twice just to make him feel welcome. I was like, I can't just ask Josh. I got to ask him too. What the hell's your name again? Travis. Gotcha. So yeah, they're here for the first time. But if folks are tuning in for the first time, hearing about y'all, where can they follow along with everything y'all have going on?
Well, we definitely have the Twitter game going strong. What's our Twitter called? It's definitely the Lawless Band. It's the Lawless Band on Twitter.
At the Lawless Band.
At the Lawless Band on Twitter. Facebook, the Lawless Ones, or the Lawless Music now. Did we change it?
No.
Yeah, it's the Lawless Ones on Facebook. Instagram is just the Lawless. Check it out. The Lawless on Instagram. And then there'll be a record coming soon. It'll be on all platforms: Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora. You name it, it's there.
So you guys not on Spotify yet?
Not yet. We haven't made a release yet.
You will be with this.
We'll be with this probably.
So the
within
very
next
first
4
time
weeks.
they've ever been on Spotify will be with this show. So that's pretty cool, right?
No
there.
doubt, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
pretty nice.
This goes on Spotify?
Yes.
Oh, right on.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Finally got onto Spotify.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had to sit outside the CEO's window and catch him cheating like 60 times.
Really?
I was like, look, I will tell your wife.
I'll tell your wife. You don't
I
let
have
her
the
know.
pictures to prove it on microfilm.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I have old.
And that beard is
technology.
unrecognizable, so you better.
Well, yeah, it's true. Well, he had a lot of bushes, so that helped out a lot.
That helps. Yeah.
And I don't do mornings, so it's not like I stand out in the sun or something.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
I have a really long lens on my microfilm creator.
Yeah, I have none of those things. I don't even know if I own a camera. I don't even own a laptop, man.
Really?
I didn't even
I
have
do.
Facebook. I got Twitter like last week.
Really?
Yeah.
No, this week. I got Twitter like 4 days ago.
Well, you guys said your Twitter game is strong.
The band's Twitter is.
Yeah.
Not me. As
See,
an
mine,
independent person.
We have a lot of like followers. We have a couple thousand followers, but like I think there's Western directors wanting to film on my Twitter because it's a ghost town. Like I never tweet.
Really? Huh.
Like the only things that tweet out on our Twitter is like automatic stuff, like when we upload
Sure,
a video
yeah.
or something like that. So we have like 15,000 tweets, but I maybe tweeted 3 times.
Well, that's nuts, man.
High volume. But
What a mystery, man.
yeah,
Social
Twitter's
media
just
stuff.
weird. Like it's a mystery to me.
I got Facebook last year, if that makes any sense.
Wow.
You know? As a 24-year-old, I've had Facebook for a year.
Wow.
So,
Well, 3 years ago I had 70 friends on Facebook. Now I've got like 50,000.
3 years ago,
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to turn on an iPhone.
Oh, yeah?
I had to get my
Wow.
wife at the time to
crazy.
do it for
There's a
me.
button on the side, man.
Yeah, there is. I found that out. Oh, it's so worthless, man. I swear to God.
How about the first time you learned how to screenshot? Wasn't that like a
That was
life-changing
seriously like
moment?
2 years ago.
Yeah?
Yes, it was. I was 22.
Wow.
Maybe older than that. Maybe. I was writing music before I was even considering playing music for a living, man. I was horseback every day, like 7 days a week, 14 hours a day doing that. And I was the most worthless
You're
technology
just
guy.
just a country boy.
You could not get me to, like, I remember
That's
I was married, my wife was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on Pinterest and Instagram and all this stuff, and I could never keep track. And her friends would always laugh at me because they'd be like, yeah, what's that dress you found? I'm like, yeah, she found that dress on Pinstagram last week or whatever. And
Instagram.
they didn't think that stuff was funny, man.
So guys, make sure you're following along with the Lawless. It's at the Lawless Ones on Facebook. It's at the Lawless Band on Twitter and at the Lawless on Instagram. Is that right?
That's right. That's
Hey,
right.
I'm on top of it. If you guys are tuned into the ETX ROCKS Show for the first time, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys are listening to the audio version of this on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, or any of the other podcasting apps that we're located on, I'd like to let you guys know we also are in high-definition video over on YouTube. So if you want to see the full-length video of this episode, make sure you head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button while you're there. If you're hearing about us for the first time, you can follow along with everything we have going on. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us at ETX ROCKS. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. Hit the little bell over to the right of the subscribe button. Yeah, I can say that. Hit the little bell over to the right of the subscribe button, and that'll notify you when we have new content up, which is really cool. It's a new thing on YouTube.
Nice.
I didn't know about it until one of my guests told me about it.
I know so little about YouTube. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I didn't know either. I mean, apparently just somebody hitting subscribe is not enough for YouTube to notify you of new
You
content.
have to alert.
Now you have to hit 2 buttons to be notified. It's like, why?
Making you work for them, like.
I'm telling you, yeah. It's like, come on. Oh, that reminds me. Also, hit the like button on,
It's a little
on the
thumbs
video
up.
there. Yeah. Let's try to get to, I don't know, 50 likes on this. Hit the like button. 50 likes. We can do that, right?
If we can do 50, we can do 120.
That's right.
Yeah. If we can
Maybe
do
even
120,
1,000.
we can do 123. Just make dummy accounts.
Highway 120.
Oh, nobody does that, right? Nobody makes dummy accounts. That's not a
I
thing.
don't know if that's a thing or not.
Also, we are completely self-funded on the ETX ROCKS Show, which means we are low budget, and I emphasize the word low. So we have set up a donate link for you folks out there that would like to help support the show and keep us on the air. That is located over at www.paypal.me/ETXRocks, and that would be much appreciated. It's because of your contributions and your support out there that we just recently launched a brand new website. Go check the website out over at www.etxrocks.show, and we definitely appreciate that. We have an internet radio playlist over there. These guys' songs will be on there by the time this airs. All 3 songs will be on there. So you can go there and get your Lawless fix at any time you want. Just go to etxrocks.show, look through the playlist, they'll be on there. Really cool, and like 500 other songs on there as well. So all the live performances here on the show are in that playlist. Really cool stuff. And just to the motto now, right? And as always, we want to thank everybody out there for always supporting live music of all genres and all styles. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
that's right.
Burn out on Broadway. Not one side by side. They flicker and they gleam. It's hard to sin between. I glance and keep driving on by. There ain't a damn place in this town. Get a drink after 12. That's okay, 'cause my folks say I need to quit drinking, so what the hell? I'm always running from myself, everyone else. I'm always coming undone. In case you couldn't tell, I just wanna remind you, since there's nothing I can do if I were you. I'd probably hate me too. If I ever try to play on the roads, I'd raise up a garden of thorns. standing in the middle alone. I'd ask why don't nobody ever want to walk through it anymore. I'm always running from myself, everyone else. I'm always coming undone. In case you couldn't tell, I just wanna remind you, since there's nothing I can do if I were you, I'd probably hate me too. I'm always running from myself, everyone else. I'm always coming undone. In case you couldn't tell, I just wanna remind you, since there's nothing I can do if I were you, I'd probably hate me too.
From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX ROCKS